us this weekend. It's about you guys. And the question is, who wants to make over $300,000 marketing to local businesses? Yes? Anybody? If you can't get excited about making money, I can't get excited for you. Let's try again. Who wants to, let's go back one step. Okay, like you've never seen it before. Okay, here's the question. Who wants to make over $300,000+ marketing to local businesses? Anybody? Yes? Yes, good job. Very good. Most basic local marketing. Let's start with the most basic, and then we'll get into some advanced strategies. Now, the most basic local marketing strategies have to do certainly with Google. And there's probably been a few people this weekend that have talked about this. Yes? Now, we may say some things that are different than some of the other people that have been across the stage. Now, I'm not saying that they're wrong. All I'm saying is that we're right. Okay, I just want to make that clear. That's, again, so there's nothing wrong with what they said. But people use Google. This is what you need to understand. People use Google. I mean, worldwide, people themselves, we, all of us in this room, conduct about 88 billion searches every single month on Google. Is that a lot of searches? Absolutely. Now, that's about 34,000 searches per second. Per second. Now, that means about 2 million searches per minute. That's about 121 million searches per hour, which equates to about 3 billion searches per day. Now, if you had that kind of traffic, would you be listening to me right now? Probably not. But the fact is that Google is something that can't be ignored. What many marketers have done several years ago is they said, Google's too volatile, Google shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, and you shouldn't advertise on Google, and I agreed. And so everyone left Google. That's what happened. But there's a certain part of Google that you cannot ignore when we're talking about the local businesses, and that is the Google local aspect. Now, for many products that many of you have in this room, I will advise you, and some of you in this room, I have advised you, do not advertise on Google, period, especially with Google AdWords. But we're going to talk about it in a little bit different way because we're going to talk about something a little bit different, and we'll get to that in a second. But 57% of internet users search the web every single day. 57% search the web every single day. 46% of daily searches are for products or services, meaning that these people have a specific intent. There's a reason why you are searching. You don't just search randomly most of the time. You search for something specific, and many times it's for something we actually want to buy. Does that make sense? Yes or yes? Yes. 20%, here's the number that you really need to understand. 20% of monthly Google searches are for local businesses. This is the key. Now, I know several people have mentioned this, with your phone, your local, whether you have an iPhone or some other type of smartphone that you have on you. I mean, many times people are looking for something and they're out and about. I mean, I remember walking literally, what's that road that I walked down to find the Apple store?
Regent Street.
I walked down Regent Street, and what happened, I was literally going down the street like this. I had my phone out, and I had my maps out in Google, and I'm walking down the street like this the whole time because I have no idea where I am. All I know is they say there's an Apple store down here somewhere, and I needed a cord for my computer because I forgot it at home. And, I used it. I picked up my phone, and I turned on, and I typed in Apple, found the closest one, and I just started walking down the road, and I had my phone out because I can't really remember too much. And so I just kept following the little dot on the map, and it worked out pretty well. Now, here's what this means, though. 88 billion searches, we already established that, times 20%, which means it's about 17.6 billion searches a month for local businesses. 17.6 billion searches for local businesses. The problem is most local businesses are not actually optimized on Google at all, period. They're just not. And we'll actually show you proof that we actually did yesterday that kind of proves it right off the bat. But the most basic place and thing that you can do on Google is Google Places. Now, you heard a lot about Google Places. How many people one or two people talked about Google Places so far? A little bit? Okay, we're going to talk about it a lot. Why? Because it's the easiest strategy to start off with. Google Places is there, it exists, and it's going to keep on growing, but it's not the only one, and we'll get to that a little bit later. So let's take a look at this first, and it starts off with Google Maps. And Gareth, why don't you just kind of walk everyone through this particular piece. I'll hand this over to you so it's easier for you to click through.
Sure. Well, this particular piece here, as you can see, we've put in search term for dry cleaner here in London, in Kensington. And what you can see on the screen here is what Google has delivered directly back for that particular search result. And as you can see, straight at the top there, you can see what's called sponsored links, and there's a couple of organic listings. And then straight down there, you can see the actual Google Places listings. These are the local businesses or the dry cleaners in the Kensington area of London. Now, what happens, as you can see, so there you go. Those are the actual Places listings. Now, also what it will bring up is a map exactly where those specific locations are as averse to what they're actually showing on the direct page on the listings on Google there. Now, what happens with Places is that what the business should do, or what you would do as a consultant, is actually create and optimize a Places page for the client.
Now, let's just stop right there for a second, because one thing a lot of people don't understand is that a lot of businesses will say, well, my website's already on Google, my business is already on Google, and they'll see something like this. Well, the problem with this particular situation is that what Google did is when they first started Google Places, is they did a massive search. And they just, without anyone's permission, without any business owner's permission, is just made all these pages automatically for all these businesses all over the world. They basically, I don't know where they get their data, but they basically, let's say, went through a phone book and just kind of pulled everybody in and then just put up with these pages for them. Now, here's the whole point, though. The next piece, if you could just click forward 1 second, Google. See that? It says right there, business owner.
Yeah.
Now, this was the #1 listing under dry cleaners in Kensington Dry Cleaners. Now, the #1 listing. Now, the reason why it says business owner is because they have not claimed their listing. That is the problem. Most of the businesses out there have not claimed their listing yet. So that creates a huge opportunity. Now, some businesses have, but you know what? I could go after them, but then again, I don't want to actually have to work hard. Does anyone actually want to work hard? No, there's a term I want you guys to write down. Write this down. It's called low-hanging fruit. How many people are actually lazy in this room? Raise your hand. Some of you are just so lazy you won't even raise your hand, so let's try this again. So how many people are lazy in this room? Raise your hand. I am lazy. There's no doubt. I am lazy. I mean, I try to outsource everything. I mean, if I could outsource exercising, I would do that. But I can't as of yet. See, the point being is that these businesses just don't know about it, A, or they just don't know how. So when we want to go after low-hanging fruit, we don't want to have to struggle to fight with them. We just want to find the people that have not claimed their listings yet. Does that make sense? Yeah, so it makes it really easy. So go on the other piece on this.
Okay. So within the listing, what you'd actually set up for the client is the basic stuff with the actual name, telephone number. You'd add photographs. You can also add video to it. Because the key thing with Places is that you've got to really create a really, really great listing. And what Armin sort of said there about the number of businesses out there is that less than 8% of businesses worldwide have actually claimed their listings. So if you can imagine with this one that we were sort of messing around yesterday, figuring it out, is actually ranking #1 on Google in Places for Dry Cleaner Kensington. Can you imagine sort of you found this and we were saying, well, hang on a second, we could find this client, go along, they'll pay us money to optimize their listing. They don't even know they're there. We just go back the next day and tell them they're #1. and they're automatically there anyway. I mean, how simple is that?
You guys really didn't get that joke, did you?
Yeah, no.
Right. They're already #1.
Yeah.
They pay you money, you optimize it, you come back the next day, they're #1 still, but you look great.
Yeah, but this time they know about it.
But there's some things that we can do. #1, it has an image. And you can see the image. It says right there exactly where they got the image from. It's whosview.co.uk, and they just pulled in that image. Yeah. Now that company didn't authorize it. They didn't say, "Oh yeah, use that image because that makes us look good." No, they just put up that image, and Google just pulled that in through an automatic algorithm. But that's one of the things that you can do in order to optimize the listing. I mean, one of the things that you can do, one of the most powerful things that you can do, is do this. You pull out your phone, you turn it on, right? You open it, and then you click what's called the camera. Right? And now you open it up, and you go like this, and now pay me $250. That's kind of what it works out to, and that's what many of our clients actually do, and students. They actually go to the businesses, oh, you want a picture on there? Yeah, we can replace that for you. It's going to cost you $250. And they might throw that in for free if you get the listing with us today. And we'll talk more about that as we go along. But you can also add additional photos to this, yes?
Yeah, absolutely. You can actually add up to about, I think, about 10 photographs in there, plus a video. So it's very easy. We actually, you can actually create a very simple video. In our training programs, for example, we show you how to do that. and charge a great amount of money for actually doing that to the client. And ultimately, you just upload it to YouTube, you take the URL, you can place it in the Places page.
So